What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. And today we are going to be talking trade reviews. And we are just a few days away from the NFL draft. So I thought it would be best to review trades submitted in our Discord that involved rookie picks. We know that those rookie drafts are coming up and they're coming quickly. So I wanted to show you guys what you can get for those rookie picks or what it will take to get a rookie pick as far as compensation goes. So let's not really waste any more time. I just want to pull up the Discord here and we'll start going through some of these trades and reviewing them ourselves. So, again, these are user submitted trades. They come right from the Discord. If you want to submit your trades, Discord's free to join. It's in the description and it's in the YouTube banner. But you see, the first trade we have here is a 12-team Superflex half PPR tight end premium. It looks like right now we got Gerald Everett, Cam Akers, David Bell for DeAndre Hopkins, the 207, and a 2024 third. And to me, when I look at this trade, um, I'm trying to look at which assets are the most valuable, and to me, it's kind of a toss up here. I'm not a big fan of Cam Akers. I know a lot of people. You either love him or you hate him. To me, I don't love Cam Akers, man. I would argue that the 207. I would actually argue that DeAndre Hopkins is probably the most valuable piece in this trade, especially as a contender. Now, he didn't say whether he was or actually, it says right below it, he says competing. So, as a contender, I think DeAndre Hopkins is the most valuable asset here. So I do want to have that coming back to me in the trade. 207 is fairly valuable. I would rather almost roll the dice with 207 over a guy like Cam Akers because Cam Akers just hasn't been who we thought he was. This class is a little bit deeper at the running back position. There's probably I was doing my running back projections last night, film grades, rankings, and I'm looking at it, and there's probably 6 or 7 guys that I think could possibly become fantasy starters here in this draft, depending on landing spots and draft capital, of course. But I would much rather have this DeAndre Hopkins in the 207 trade as a contender. And then obviously as a contender, I am taking that 207 and either drafting a running back or I'm just going to take that 207. I'm going to flip it and go get another asset. You could probably go get a guy like, I don't know. I would shoot for some of these older vets that are out there. Maybe a Dalvin Cook, a David Montgomery, a Joe Mixon, an Alvin Kamara, James Conner. There's some backs that I might go to replace Cam Akers and use that 207 to maybe go get one of them. You might catch a manager sleeping. A lot of people are overreacting to these ages of these running backs. You might catch somebody with that 207 and a third and maybe throw them that for Dalvin Cook, and you might have to throw in another like 24 third or 24 second. But as a contender, I think I'd much rather have a trade like that come across my screen. So that is our first trade. Then we have another one. It's a 12-team super flex half point PPR tight end premium, and the premium is a half point. So you see we got Chig Okonkwo and the 208 for the 110. And to me, this is kind of a fleece, honestly. I much rather have that 110. I think the player you're going to get at 110 is a lot better than the combination of Chig and the 208. At 110, there's still some really solid players. You might be able to grab a guy like, Zach Charbonnet, Devon A-Chain, maybe a Quentin Johnston, a Zay Flowers. Even there's a possibility that you're playing in a tight end premium league, and there's a possibility that Michael Mayer or even a Dalton Kincaid get first round draft capital, and you might consider taking them at that 110. I mean, there's a whole world of possibilities that you can do with this 110. Okonkwo is fine. He's cool. I'm not a big believer in Okonkwo. The 208s, whatever, as well. Like I said on that last trade, like you're going to be shooting a shot at probably one of those later running backs. Hopefully they get the draft capital. Hope they get the landing spots. But I'll take the 110, man. It's just a better pick, and I think you have more flexibility with the 110 because come draft day, if you want to move that back or possibly even take that 110 and go trade it for something else. Maybe a veteran player. You can go do that as well. So I like the flexibility of having 110, and it is the most valuable asset in this deal. So that is one of them. We do have a 12-team super flex tight end premium start 10, and this is a big boy one, right? We have the 101 and the 203. So presumably your Bijan Robinson pick and an early second in a 12-team going for Jonathan Taylor and Treylon Burks. And honestly, I would say that this trade is probably pretty fair just based off of market value. Um, there is the question mark of Bijan Robinson. If you watched our live stream the other day, we reacted to a Daniel Jeremiah mock draft where he had Bijan Robinson going to the New England Patriots. And if that happened, I mentioned that that would be such a gut punch for me that I would almost not be I would almost consider somebody else at the 101 if Bijan ends up going to the Patriots. Now, again, I say it's a question mark because we don't know where he's going. We won't know where he's going for another couple days. So, I think the value of this trade probably lies on the Jonathan Taylor, Treylon Burks side. It is also a safer side of the deal. Now, it's not specified whether they are rebuilding or contending. And I don't really think it matters because Jonathan Taylor and Treylon Burks are both young anyways. But this is one of the few trades that I think it just checks out even both ways. And I think you can pick your poison here. If I was going to pick my poison, I probably would gamble with Bijan Robinson and then, pick my poison at 203, maybe even trade that for a different player. But I think that's what I would be doing. But again, I don't fault anybody for going the Jonathan Taylor, Treylon Burks side. This is great compensation for your 101, and this is what people have been looking for as you look to trade those 101s and possibly see what you can get. Great deal from both parties. I love this deal for everybody. Now we do have this one. It's a 12-team best ball PPR start 10. So we have Michael Pittman Jr. in the 106 for the 102. And this being a best ball, and I can't remember if I just said super flex. It is not a super flex. So for me, let's think about who those picks are going to be. 102 is likely going to be your JSN or your Jahmyr Gibbs in a non-super flex league. Now, as you get to that 106 in a non-super flex league, you're going to be taking probably a QJ, a Jordan Addison, maybe a Charbonnet at the 106. And with that being considered, I think I'm going to lean, especially in a best ball league. I'm going to lean the Michael Pittman Jr. in the 106 side. In best ball, I kind of want to diversify my assets a little bit, especially because I'm not setting my lineup each and every week. So getting a guy like Michael Pittman, you could argue that he has the same ceiling as a guy like JSN, and I love JSN, but I like Michael Pittman Jr. as well. So you could argue that the second best asset at 102 is just as good as Michael Pittman. And so then I'm going to get the 106 thrown in there. I definitely want to take the two assets in my best ball leagues for that one. And I think that's a great trade by Eplo. He's kind of tearing down, having somebody buy in on the draft hype at 102. And, somebody's going to come up and get a good guy in JSN or Jahmyr Gibbs. But at the end of the day, this is best ball. You want to win by having some diversity in your lineups. I think that's with Michael Pittman in the 106. So, now we do have two more trades here before we get on out of here. I did want to keep it quick and easy for us this week. So we do have Kyler Murray being traded for the 107 and a 2025 second round pick. And this is a 12-team Superflex PPR start 10. And I did say Superflex, guys. 107 for Kyler Murray. I'm taking the Kyler Murray side for this compensation all day long, every day. I think in your super flex leagues, it should be all four quarterbacks taken off of the board by 107. And even if they're not, you're stuck with the back end of them, possibly a Will Levis. and a second, or Kyler Murray. And I think for me, I'd much rather have Kyler Murray. We know, as controversial as Kyler Murray is for the fantasy football community, and it seems like people just want to hate on Kyler Murray, and people want to, discredit Kyler Murray as a quarterback here in the NFL. But for fantasy football, man, he's a baller, dude. He puts up fantasy football points. The rushing upside is there. I know he's coming off of an ACL. He's going to miss some games next year. There's a good chance that he misses half of the season. But I think for me, man, I'd much rather have Kyler Murray. I know what I'm getting. I think the ceiling is still super high for Kyler Murray. And even if in a world, now I don't think this is going to happen, but even in a world where the Cardinals move on from Kyler Murray, he's going to be the starting quarterback for some other team in the NFL, and that's just guaranteed in my opinion. So I will definitely be taking Kyler Murray over the 107. I think this is a fantastic deal for Captain Clutch. So we do have our last trade here of the episode here today, and we do have Brock Purdy going for the 206. And this is an interesting one because he says it's 12-team Superflex PPR. I would bet that you aren't likely getting a quarterback better than Brock Purdy at 206, but it just depends on the kind of draft capital a guy like Hendon Hooker gets. I mean, you may be able to take a guy like Hendon Hooker at 206. It's possible. If he gets first-round draft capital, which has been rumored a little bit, there's rumor that the Vikings or the Commanders or some of these other teams here at the back end of the first might be interested in a Hendon Hooker. If that's possible, you could hear the argument of maybe saying that Brock Purdy isn't worth it. But at the same time, the 49ers have kind of been wishy-washy with who they commit to at quarterback. Now they do. It does seem as of right now they are committed to Brock Purdy. He is coming off of a UCL tear, though. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's tough to come back from an injury like that, but it does seem like Trey Lance is somewhat available to be traded. So it looks like all signs are pointing to Brock Purdy possibly being the guy moving forward. So if you can get a starting quarterback for the 206, I'm definitely taking that. It just is going to be a bet on whether you think Brock Purdy really is that long-term starter for the 49ers. For me, I think it's fair. I think it's a fine trade. I think it's going to come down to roster construction. If you have a team where you already have 2 or 3 quarterbacks on that roster in Superflex, I'd rather just have the 206. But if you really need that second quarterback or that third quarterback in your Superflex leagues, this is a great trade for you. I think at the end of the day, I can't tell you, it's that fair that I can't really tell you which side I'm going to go with. So take it for what it's worth. Sorry to leave you out on a cliffhanger, but I think it's a good trade for all parties involved, and it really does come down to roster construction on which side you're going to take in this deal. So, with that being said, that is going to be our trade review episode right before the NFL draft. We are 2 days from the first round, and it is going to be super exciting. We get to see what these rookie picks are going to turn into, and this is really Super Bowl season for our Dynasty fantasy football rosters. The best of the offseason is just around the corner, and I am so excited for it. So more things coming soon. Again, I mentioned it earlier in the episode. If you want your trades submitted and able to be reviewed on the next episode, we do trade review episodes bi-weekly. Go join that Discord. It is free to join. There's a trade reviews tab in there. You just post the screenshots just like we looked at today, and there's a good chance that you'll get them reviewed on the next episode. So go join that if you want your trades reviewed. And then last but not least, just to keep helping a small channel like ours grow, the biggest thing for us is we want to help build a fantasy football community. We want to help people win Dynasty Fantasy Football Championships. And so the best way for us to continue growing is for you guys to continue showing support. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for getting to this point right here. If you could leave a like on the video on your way out, share it with who you think would like to see it, and do all those things for us. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, all those things. But at the end of the day, I just thank you guys for really taking the time to watch the video, and hopefully your team has a good NFL draft. Other than that, I will see you guys on the next episode. And so see ya. Peace out.